Scooby-Doo and the Mystery of the Man Who Walks on Water. Good morning, happy Sunday, and welcome to another episode of Coffee and Rosaries with Father Pat. Sunday, August 13th, 2023. Wonderful to see all of you today. So today, we're talking about the famous gospel where Christ walks on water. And I have to admit, that's actually a very powerful gospel because notice how that phrase, walk on water, is used in today's society. If someone is very skilled or very adept at what they do, my gosh, they can walk on water. Or even a song by, God rest his soul, a singer named Eddie Money, If I Could Walk on Water. Basically saying that of his ex-lady friend, if I could walk on water, that still would not be good enough for you. But, okay, walking on water, this gospel, it definitely hits home with a lot of us. It is an amazing sight to behold. Christ walked on water. Now, think about this. So, what was this day like? The gospel starts out after Christ fed the people. Now, that was already a pretty amazing miracle. Everybody remember that gospel about, the fish and the loaves to feed the multitudes? That was amazing. So, okay. He's done preaching for the day. Everybody ate. They're going home. All right. And then, everybody wants to say goodbye. It's kind of like the Italian goodbye. Takes an extra 15 minutes. Everybody got to say goodbye to everybody else. But Christ did stay behind to say goodbye to everyone that, wanted to say goodbye to him. He went to make sure they all left. They all went home. Okay, so the disciples went on ahead in the boat. Now, Christ, after this amazing miracle, decided to go up to the top of a mountain and pray. All right. So he comes down from the mountain and he sees that the boat with all the disciples is caught in high winds, is caught in a storm. And Christ walks out to them. Your friends are in trouble. You're going to go straight out to them. You're going to drive. You're going to go buy a plane ticket wherever you are. Your friend's in need. You're going to drop everything and go to them because that's what friends are. And Christ was their friend, in addition to the Messiah and, yes, their rabbi, their teacher. So he walks out and they see this man walking on the water. Looks like Christ. Looks like the person they've been spending so much time with, and yet they still say, oh my gosh, it is a ghost. I mean, think about what Christ just did that day. Think about what he's been doing. And you already doubt what you're seeing with the person walking on the water. When I read this, I look at it and I think about one of my favorite television series when I was younger, quite a long time ago. I used to like to watch Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? And in every episode, there was a mystery that had to be solved by Scooby-Doo and the gang. And at the end of the episode, then when they caught the ghost, the monster, whatever it was, and they unmasked the person, it wasn't a ghost. It was just a person with a somewhat nefarious plot, illegal in nature. Something about making money or finding money or something. Okay. Now, you begin to think after a while that when Scooby and the gang saw a ghost, you'd think they would immediately say, oh, come on, that's just some guy in a costume. Well, that would make the episode much less interesting. But I'm sure they thought whatever that thing was that was scaring everybody was most likely someone in a costume, but it was fear. It was fear that made them doubt themselves. Much like fear can make a person doubt their faith. You know, fear is actually very useful. It's part of the instinct inside of us that helps us to survive. Okay? Fear makes us run away from bad situations. Instead of, oh, look, a grizzly bear. I'm going to walk over and pet it. No. Grizzly bear, I'm going away as fast as I can. Okay? You avoid bad situations. So, fear is a good thing. But think about the times in our lives when we should not be feeling fear, but we fear it anyway. Okay? How many of us fly on commercial aircraft these days? It is truly a rarity that an aircraft has mechanical issues. It is truly even more of a rarity that an aircraft crash lands and there are fatalities. But for those of us that go on commercial aircraft, the second we hit a couple little bumps, a couple little turbulence, all of a sudden we doubt everything. We doubt the pilot, we doubt the plane, we doubt everything. Okay? Even simpler. How many of you use a GPS on your phone to go places? Okay? And normally you have a lot of confidence in your GPS to take this program in your phone to take you someplace you've never seen before. And yet we have confidence in it. We have faith in it. And yet the second we take a turn that looks like, wait a minute, this can't be right, all of a sudden you doubt it. You doubt everything about the way that program was made and the device that it's loaded on. So fear makes us, it's a good thing, but fear makes us doubt a lot of things. Okay? So the apostles, when they saw what looked like Christ walking on the water, and they're like, you know, a ghost. And, you know, Christ knew they believed. Christ knew they had faith. These men gave up everything to follow him. Yes, they had faith. But he knew they also had fear. And he called out to them, it is I. Okay? And then their fear was alleviated. And then Peter said, Christ, if it is your desire, call me out to walk to you across the water. Okay? If you say so, I will get out of this boat and I will walk across the water. I say, if it is your word. And he did. He got out of the water. He got out of the boat, walked on the water, started walking towards Christ. And the wind and the waves, he got scared. And he started to sink. His fear rattled his faith. Christ grabbed onto him, pulled him up. Oh, ye of little faith. He wasn't angry with him. I guess he was a little disappointed that his fear stood in the way of his faith. And then what did Christ do? All of a sudden, at that moment, the storm ceased. The waters were calm. And all of the apostles cried out in praise, "Surely thou art the Son of God." And they believed. It's much easier to believe when the waters are calm. But they cried out in one voice that they believed he was truly the Messiah, truly the Son of God. So, fear can stand in the way of our faith. Fear can cause us not to believe. It's a shame when that happens. It is unfortunate. And I will say, even myself, I fear. A lot of things I fear. I'd like to think that I'm a great big chicken. There's a lot of things that scare me. You know? Can I tell you a secret? I'll tell you one thing that really scared me. Remember I showed you this a few years ago? There was that little bit of surgery I had to have on my neck so that I wouldn't become a quadriplegic. You know, you go to a good doctor, the consultations, they sit with you, they talk to you, everybody's comforting. Don't worry, things are going to be just fine, things are going to work out. And then the day comes, and you're on a stretcher being wheeled into the operating room, and then it sets in. All of a sudden you doubt. You doubt the doctor, you doubt the hospital, you doubt everything. So I had doubt, I had fear, stood in the way. Well, stayed there, got things taken care of. And here I am in a much better situation. But I'm going to tell you something about that day. Everybody was wondering why I was smiling. Why I was, at one point in time, I started to become very relaxed. Because I will tell you that at that point in time, I felt something beyond description. I knew I was not alone. And at that point, I knew things were going to be just fine. I was starting to sink into the water. And Christ reached down and pulled me up, O ye of little faith. So, you know, it's okay to be afraid. It's okay to be scared. It's okay to think that what you see is a ghost or a monster when it could really just be a person in a costume. Or when that person walks across water who you know darn well who it is. And yet you still fear. Fear is a natural part of us. It takes a lot to overcome our fears. Be strong. Believe. Okay? Know that God is with us and that Christ guides us. Move beyond your fear. Hold your faith true and strong, and you will truly be able to, in the figurative sense, walk on water. Be strong, people. Don't let fear get the best of you. So for today's Sunday, August 13th, 2023, this is Father Pat Contreras with coffee and rosaries. saying, love one another as God loves you.